Okay, so the final lesson of the series. First thing we need to do is a little bit of housekeeping. The jerky paddle seems to be only related to versions of 29.3. I've gone back and tested in various different versions of Unity, and this only happens in 29.3 and above. So what we need to do is change all of the speeds from 10 to 5. That should cure the jerky paddle movement. We can set the paddle size back to 1. I'm going to leave that paddle at 2 for testing purposes, but when the game's finished, all we need to do is just remember to set that back to 1. Open up the Pong Script. Remove the coroutine start from the start method. We'll be relying on this one now. Save that. Go into right paddle, and this public void AI enabled, we want to change that to a capital. Save that. Okay, now we're ready to jump back into Unity and write the main game code. So if you want to go ahead and create a new C# script in the scripts folder called Pong, what we'll do is we'll remove the box collider from this empty game object. We'll reset its transform, and we'll call this game controller. And eventually we'll drag this Pong script onto that once we've wrote it. Okie doke, so now if we want to go ahead and open this up in Visual Studio, I've pre-written the scripts and pre-built the menus. There's plenty of really good tutorials on making menus. Games Plus James does a really good one. He's got a free course on Udemy, and he's also done a good one with using keyboard and joysticks. We've got a couple of extra things that we'll need to import, mainly the menu control system. You'll find, as this was written for a user in my Discord group, this will already be there. The audio manager should already be there, and the menus will already be in the package file from the first lesson. So if you're wondering why some of this stuff is a bit out of order, it's because I wrote this for somebody else but decided to make it public. Okay, so let's open up the Pong script. First thing we need to do is set some variables. So we need to have using Unity, not using Unity, using TM Pro. We need 3 text fields. One for the player 1 score, one for the player 2 score, and one for the winner text. We need references to our left paddle, our right paddle, and our ball. We need an integer value for the winning score. We need references to our left and right bounds, and a reference to the lose sound. We also need a reference to our menu switcher. We need a boolean value for one game. We need a boolean value for single player. And we also need some ints for player 1 and 2 scores. So I will just zoom out 1 so you can get all of those variables. If you want to go ahead and pause the video and type those out, we'll start moving down onto the methods that we need to create. Okay, so in the start function, you want to call a load main menu method. Don't worry about any error that you get. We'll be creating this as we go down, but we'll start at the top of the script and we'll work our way down. You'll notice I haven't commented everything in this script. By now you should be getting a rough idea of what all of these are, apart from the Text Mesh Pro UGI. Okay, so start, you want to call the load menu method. In update, we need to update our player 1 and player 2 scores. So we've got our player 1 score dot text equals player 1 score to string. Then we need to check the ball bounds. So if it's greater than the right bounds, we'll play the lose sound effect. We'll increment player 1's score because that means player 1 has scored a point. We'll reset the left and right paddles and we'll reset the ball. We then need another if statement for if the ball position X is less than the left bounds. This means player 2 has scored a point. So once again, we'll play the sound effect, increment the score, reset the paddles and ball. In fixed update, we're going to check if the player 1 score is greater than the winning score. We're going to change the winner text to player 1 wins and we're going to load the game 1 menu. We'll then do else if player 2 score is higher, or sorry, greater or equal to the winning score. We'll change the text to player 2 wins and load the game 1 menu. And then finally we'll do a input get button down and we'll check for the cancel button, which should be escape. If we get that, we're going to pause the game. Okay, so the gameplay methods. For a single player game, we want to set the single player boolean to true, reset the scores, reset the paddles, we set AI control to false, unload the main menu and spawn the ball. For player 2, we'll do exactly the same, but this time we're going to set the single player to false and AI to false. We then need a method to restart the game and a method to quit the game. So we're going to check if it's single player, start a single player game. If it's 2 player, start a 2 player game. And finally, for our user methods, we want a quit game method. So public void quit game application.quit. Okay, so now our menu methods. This is the onload method. We've got a reference to our menu switcher, which is going to open up the menu. We're going to set single player to false and set the time scale to 0. Unload main menu, we're just going to close the menu via the menu switcher and set the time scale back to 1. Again, exactly the same with the load game 1. We're going to open the game menu, set the time scale to 0. And to unload it, we'll just close the game over menu and set the time scale to 1. The pause game functions, again, are identical to these, apart from we're opening and closing the pause menu. So you can go ahead and save that. And that is all the code needed for the game controller. We can now jump back into Unity. I'll correct the spelling on this. I just noticed that. And then we drag our Pong script that we just created. We drag our left paddle into our left paddle, our right paddle into the right paddle, our ball. Now we need to calculate our ball bounds. So if we click onto the ball, zoom out a little bit and click on this little move tool here, hold down Control and we move the ball to there, so it's -10. So we can go to our game controller, left bounds is -10, so right bounds will be 10. We'll set our winning score to 10 points. Our menu controller we haven't got, so if you want to go to the menu controller, prefabs, drag that prefab in, it's going to ask for some canvases. We'll add those in a minute. Go back to our game controller, add the menu controller into that, and then finally we want to grab the loose sound and put it into the audio clip. That should be all of that set up. So winner text will be on the menus, so we can go and drag our menus in. We've got our main menu, we'll drag our pause menu in, and then finally our game 1 menu. We can now link these up to the menu controller, so we've got main menu, pause menu, and game 1 will be in the game over menu. And on our game controller, our winner text will be under game 1. The game 1 canvas. So drag that into there. We can now hide these, but we'll also hide the main menu because we need to just create the game UI. So if we do right click, UI, Text Mesh Pro Text, double click on that. We reset its transform so we can see it. We'll set that to 0. We'll choose the font that we've been using, which is Electronic Highway. And we'll set that 56, no, we'll set that to 72. Once again, now we'll have a look at this. We'll set the size of the text to 100 by 100. We'll set it to be in the center. Now we need to just scroll out and position this. So if we hold Control down, it will snap us up. And then we'll drag that along to say there, for player 1. And then we'll just go in and alter these values. So it'll be 135 and 465. We call this player 1 text or P1 text. We can now go duplicate that. We'll call this one P2 text and remove the minus from that position. Jump back to our game controller and add the text into those two. Now we're going to need to hook some buttons up on the menus. So firstly we'll open up the main menu. Click on one player. We want to go to game controller. I think we need two references to the game controller. We're going to go to game Pong, unload main menu, and then single player game. The two player, again we need two references to the game controller. We drag those into there. We're going to go Pong, unload main menu, and Pong two player game. So we've got unload main menu, single player, and finally in the quit we just go to the game controller and choose the quick game method. In the pause menu under resume we can just drag the pause menu in, go game object, drag the game controller in and choose unpause. On the main menu we drag two references to the game controller in again. So we're going to unpause the game and we're going to load the main menu. With the sound effects slider we need to go in and click and we drag our audio manager into there, and up the top we need to choose set SFX volume. And for the game one menu we need to add the two references again to our game controller. So if we're going to do replay, we go to Pong, restart game, and for the main menu and close the menu. That'll be unload game one. In fact we reverse those around. Pong, unload game one, Pong, restart game. For the main menu again, two references to our game controller. So we're going to unload the game one menu and we need to load the main menu. Hopefully that should be everything set up. I've set the navigation on all of the menus, so you shouldn't have to worry about those. But what we will do is we'll just go into the scripts and we'll stop any movement happening whilst the game is paused, because I forgot to add those. So back to scripts, ball. Let me just zoom out a little bit. There's no update function in that. So that should be okay. In update here, we're doing if statement. If time scale is equal to 0, we'll just return. We'll copy that. Save that. Just add that to the left paddle. That'll stop any excess movement, because if you've seen my previous videos, you'll note that anything in the update function will still run if you set time scale to 0. So we should be able to save that now. And hopefully when we click play, we'll be able to choose a single player or 2-player game, and the game should work. Okay, before I do hit play, I'm just going to change the winning score to 2, so the game doesn't go on forever. Let's hit play. And we'll try a single player game to start with. As you can now see, the movement is a lot smoother. And I will let the computer score some points. It's come up player 2 wins. We click play again. Okay, jump back to the main menu. We now go to 2-player. Player 1 wins. Play again. Check the pause. Go back to resume. As we can see, the sound effect is working. Go back to main menu. Do single player again. But for some reason the pause button doesn't seem to be working, so 2 seconds. Just try that again. This Unity is really pretty buggy. It seems to be my escape button, as you can see. Resume. Yeah, it seems to be my escape button's a bit sticky. So there you go. There's Pong. I will make sure all the current assets are in the first video. I will upload the code to GitHub and put a link in the description for the full source code in GitHub. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll speak to you all soon.